You have been searching for yourself in all the wrong places. You have looked in achievements, in relationships, in titles, in approval, and every time you got close, the answer disappeared. What if the problem was never that you lost yourself? What if the real truth is that no one ever told you where to look? Jesus did not speak in the polished religious language most people know. He spoke in Aramaic, a language so ancient and layered that a single word could carry 10 lifetimes of meaning. And in that language, he said something about you that no sermon has ever fully translated. He used the word Shem. And it does not just mean name. S-H-E-M means your breath print in eternity. The mark only you carry. The sound God made when he decided you would exist. This is not poetry. This is ancient spiritual architecture. And it was built specifically for the moment you are in right now. Every time you have felt like a stranger in your own life, every time you have asked, "Why am I here?" you are not broken. You were close to the most important door. What Jesus taught in Aramaic about identity was not a comfort. It was a confrontation with the deepest truth a human being can face. And by the end of this teaching, you will not be searching anymore. Stay, because what is coming next will rearrange something inside you that has been waiting to move. Most people live as though their identity is something they must construct, something built from choices, accomplishments, and the opinions of others. Jesus shattered that idea completely. In Aramaic, the word Shem was not simply a label attached to a person. It carried the force of divine recognition. The idea that before a soul ever arrived in a body, it was already known, already defined, already held. When Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," he was not offering a philosophy. He was speaking in the Aramaic tradition, where truth, shrara, means the living root from which all reality grows. And he was telling you that your life connects to that root. This changes everything about how identity works. You are not a person trying to become something. You are a Shem, a sacred imprint, already placed before you ever took your first breath. The ancient Aramaic teachers understood that a person who does not know their Shem will live as a stranger, always performing, always seeking approval, always feeling one step away from real belonging. That restlessness you feel is not weakness. It is the signal of a soul that has not yet heard its own name spoken in the language it was first written in. And Jesus came to speak it. There is a moment in the ancient Aramaic texts where Jesus looks at a person who has been defined by their failure, their past, and their reputation, and he calls them by a completely different name. He does not address what they have done. He addresses what they are. In the Aramaic world, this was called speaking to the ruha, the spirit, the inner breath, the deepest layer of a human being that circumstances cannot touch. When Simon the fisherman stood before him, broken and uncertain, Jesus did not see a man defined by his past. Esote Shem, the sacred identity, already written inside that man. He called him Cephas, in Aramaic, Kepha, the rock. Not because Simon already was that, but because that was his true name. The name his spirit recognized before his mind ever could. This is the Aramaic model of identity. Jesus does not wait for you to become who you are. He speaks your truest name into existence and invites your life to rise and meet it. You have heard voices your whole life telling you who you are. Voices from wounds, voices from failures, voices from people who were themselves lost. But there is one voice that was speaking before any of those, and it has never stopped. If this teaching is already stirring something in you, there is so much more ahead. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a revelation. Every week we go deeper into the ancient words that were always meant to find you. And the best is yet to come in the next chapters. You will discover what can change everything for you. In the Aramaic spiritual tradition, there is a concept that has no direct English translation. Malkuta, most translations render it as kingdom. But that word is far too small. Malkuta means the living reign of divine order that moves through a person when they are aligned with their true identity. It is not a place, it is a state of being, a frequency of existence. Jesus said that this kingdom is within you, not near you, not ahead of you. Within, this means that the authority you have been seeking outside, in validation, in position, in success already lives inside you. But here is what the Aramaic reveals that most people never hear. You cannot access Malkuta while you are carrying someone else's name for you. Every lie you believed about yourself, every label that was placed on you without your consent, is a wall between you and the Malkuta that Jesus said is already yours. Purpose does not come from figuring out what to do. Purpose emerges when you stop living as someone you were never meant to be, and that shift begins with one question Jesus asked before he called anyone to follow him. Who do you say that I am? And who do you say that you are? The Aramaic word Abba has been sentimentalized in modern translations. People hear father and picture distance, a distant authority figure watching from above. But in the original Aramaic, Abba was the word a small child breathed into the chest of the one who held them. It was intimacy before language, trust before understanding. When Jesus taught his followers to pray using Abba, he was not introducing a religious title. He was restoring a relationship, and through that relationship, a sense of origin. Because when you know your AB, when you truly know where you came from, the question of who you are becomes answered at a level no human approval could ever reach. This is the Aramaic architecture of identity. Origin determines essence. You are not what the world made of you. You are what Abba spoke when he breathed life into your Shem. The people in the ancient world who walked with Jesus did not leave their encounters with religious feelings. They left knowing their name for the first time. One encounter with Abba, the way Jesus revealed him, is enough to dissolve a lifetime of borrowed identity. You do not need to search anymore. You need to turn toward the one who already knows your Shem. Everything in this teaching has been moving toward one point. You were never meant to find yourself. You were meant to be found. Jesus did not come to give you a better version of the identity the world assigned to you. He came to call you back to the Shem, the sacred name that was spoken over you before time began. The Aramaic tradition understood that a person without their true name lives in a kind of spiritual exile, moving, working, striving, but never fully arriving. And Jesus walked into that exile and said, I know who you are, and I am calling you home. The word Maranatha, one of the most ancient Aramaic prayers preserved in the Christian tradition, means, Come, Lord, come now. But it also carries a second meaning that scholars of ancient Aramaic have recovered. The Lord has come, present and future, held in a single breath. The arrival already done. The coming still unfolding. That is what happens when you stop running from your identity and let Jesus speak your true Shem over you. The search ends, the exile ends, and something ancient in you, something that has been waiting your entire life, finally exhales. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not too far. You are simply the one Jesus has been calling by name in Aramaic, since before you ever knew you were lost. And now you have heard it. Right now, before you close this video, come to the comments and tell us, what did you feel? What shifted? We read every single response. And if this teaching found you today, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we go deeper into the ancient frequency codes that were always meant to be yours.